Breaking news. The USO brothers' birthday bash. A celebration turned chaos after their house caught fire, injuring several attendees. The sirens were deafening, the smoke was blinding, and the wrestling world was shaken to its core. What was supposed to be a night of celebration for Jimmy and Jey Uso, two of WWE's most electrifying superstars, turned into one of the darkest nights in wrestling history. A birthday bash filled with joy, laughter, music, and a star-studded guest list rapidly morphed into a literal inferno, both physically and emotionally. And now, fans are demanding answers from WWE, from local authorities, and even from the USO family themselves. How did a private party filled with security and WWE staff spiral into chaos so fast? Why did it take over 40 minutes for emergency responders to reach the scene? And most importantly, why is no one from WWE management speaking up while several guests are reportedly hospitalized, including some names you would never expect? If you're not angry yet, keep listening. You will be. Scene transition. Before the chaos. Just 24 hours before the incident, the USO twins posted a joint video teasing their extravagant party in a private estate in Anaheim, California. The video went viral in seconds. Roman Reigns liked it, Paul Heyman shared it, and Naomi commented with 3 flame emojis, which now feel hauntingly ironic. Footage from inside the mansion showed everything from a personal DJ booth, championship cake displays, private bartenders, a fully stocked champagne wall, and even a ring set up outside for a friendly birthday brawl among some of their closest wrestling peers. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was safe. Until as we left off, the chaotic scene at the Usos' birthday celebration had already turned tragic. Smoke billowed into the night sky over the Los Angeles hills, and the once vibrant party had devolved into a frantic rescue operation. Inside the Usos' luxurious home, flames continued to rip through the lower level. Reports suggest the fire started in the kitchen, possibly due to an electrical fault, though investigators have not ruled out foul play. Firefighters arrived within minutes, but in those crucial early moments, it was the WWE family who put themselves in harm's way. Roman Reigns, who was upstairs at the time, reportedly kicked down 2 doors to reach trapped guests. Solo Sikoa, barefoot and bleeding from a shattered glass door, pulled an unconscious production assistant out of the smoke. These weren't just wrestlers anymore, they were heroes. According to insider sources, over 80 people had been present at the party. Of them, at least 12 were injured, with 4 in critical condition at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Among the most serious cases is a young cousin of the Usos who suffered severe burns and remains in an induced coma. Back at the scene, cameras captured Triple H arriving in a black SUV, his face tight with concern. Reports say he immediately coordinated with emergency personnel and made sure injured staff and crew received priority treatment. Moments later, he was seen speaking with Jimmy Uso, who was visibly shaken and covered in soot. But the most disturbing development came after a paramedic reportedly overheard a survivor mentioning a strange noise before the explosion. The term used, clicking sound. WrestlingNewsCC has now confirmed that local authorities are investigating whether a tampered propane tank or some form of arson device was involved. Let that sink in. Someone might have intentionally sabotaged the USO twins' birthday celebration. And if that turns out to be true, we're not just talking about a fire, we're talking about a potential assassination attempt within the WWE circle. The finger pointing has already started. Fans online are speculating wildly. Some are blaming external rivalries, others point toward internal heat. One thread on Reddit's r/squared circle with over 12,000 upvotes claims that the fire might be connected to a mysterious tweet sent out by an anonymous WWE insider a week ago. The tweet simply read, "The celebration will burn." No names. No hashtags. Just those chilling 4 words. Now, back to the WWE universe itself. Several superstars have posted about the fire. Seth Rollins posted a now-deleted Instagram story that said, "Sometimes karma doesn't wait until the ring." Let me repeat that. Seth Rollins said, "Karma." He took it down minutes later, but screenshots already went viral. Fans immediately jumped to conclusions. Could Rollins be referencing the Shield drama? Could this be retaliation? Or was it just bad timing and a terrible choice of words? Regardless, WWE security has reportedly been increased across all known talent residences. Management isn't taking any chances. And now the real twist in the tale. We have just received word that The Rock, yes, The Rock, has been in contact with Los Angeles law enforcement. He's demanded a full-scale private investigation and has vowed to get to the bottom of this, no matter what it takes. Let me be crystal clear. If Dwayne Johnson is personally stepping in, this isn't just a tragedy, it's war. In the aftermath of the flames, the mood among the attendees quickly shifted from celebration to survival. WWE superstars and legends in attendance were seen covered in soot, coughing from smoke inhalation, and shouting each other's names through the smoke, trying to ensure no one was left behind. Solo Sikoa, although physically unharmed, appeared visibly shaken, his usual stoic demeanor replaced by sheer panic as he attempted to locate Jey, who was last seen heading toward the backyard moments before the fire erupted. Roman Reigns, who was near the pool area when the flames first reached the outer rooms, immediately sprang into action. Witnesses say he tore his shirt off to cover his nose and mouth before charging back into the smoky hallway to help evacuate the elders of the Anoa family who had come to bless the twins. I saw him carry out 2 people, then go back in, one neighbor, stunned and shaken, told reporters. He didn't even hesitate. That man might be the tribal chief in the ring, but that night, he was the true head of that table. A real-life hero. Paramedics confirmed later that 2 attendees had suffered burns while shielding others from falling debris. Thankfully, the injuries were not life-threatening, but one of the older family members, an uncle who'd flown in from Hawaii, remains in intensive care due to severe smoke inhalation. Word quickly spread through social media. Photos and videos taken by neighbors from across the street showed thick black smoke billowing from the roof as sirens blared in the background. Fans, stunned by the scenes, turned #Uso birthday fire into the #1 trending topic on X, formerly Twitter, within 15 minutes. But it wasn't just the fans who were shaken. WWE corporate sprang into immediate action. Triple H tweeted his support, saying, "The safety and well-being of our superstars and their families is our top priority. My heart goes out to the Usos and everyone affected by this terrifying event. We're monitoring the situation and offering full assistance." Stephanie McMahon echoed the sentiment, posting a heartfelt message and offering housing, transport, and support services to any attendees displaced by the fire. One of the more controversial moments of the night came when reports emerged that a security guard tried to prevent journalists from entering the neighborhood, allegedly under WWE directive. This sparked outrage, with many accusing the organization of attempting to control the narrative. It wasn't long before wrestling news outlets clapped back, stating that transparency was more important than spin in a moment of crisis. Meanwhile, a fan uploaded livestream from outside the property caught something unexpected. Amidst the emergency response chaos, a lone figure was seen leaving the scene, someone many fans identified as none other than Sami Zayn. What was he doing there? Why didn't he appear in any official footage? Was he trying to help or hiding something? The internet, of course, exploded with speculation. Back at the site, firefighters worked for hours to contain the flames. It took nearly 3 full hours to fully extinguish the blaze. Officials say the fire appears to have started in the kitchen, where candles were reportedly lit for a ceremonial family blessing. A freak accident involving a falling curtain and open flame may have sparked the entire inferno. Investigators are still piecing together what went wrong, but one thing is clear: the celebration, meant to honor 2 of the most beloved figures in WWE history, turned into one of the most horrifying nights the wrestling world has seen in recent memory. As dawn approached, the burnt remnants of the home stood as a grim monument to the chaos. A cake, half melted and covered in soot, sat abandoned in the driveway. Balloons, once floating proudly, now lay scorched and torn. And then came the questions. Who will be held responsible? Could the fire have been prevented? Why were there no fire extinguishers in key areas? Was this truly an accident? Or, as conspiracy theorists online have already begun whispering, something more sinister? Fans who watched the Usos grow from young boys walking beside Rikishi to becoming tag team royalty were in tears. One comment under a viral video read, "They gave us everything. Years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice, and this is how the universe repays them on their birthday. I'm heartbroken." Another comment was more furious. "This is why WWE needs to take better care of its superstars. How many times must we wait for disaster before we act?" The wrestling world, once full of celebration and laughter that night, was now united in sorrow, confusion, and anger. And just when everyone thought the worst was over, Jey Uso went missing. He hadn't been seen since the fire broke out. Some say they saw him run toward the back fence. Others say they heard a loud crack, like something heavy had fallen, followed by silence. At first, family members assumed he had made it out and was just in shock somewhere. But after hours of searching, his absence became undeniable. Emergency crews launched a search around the neighborhood. Drones were deployed. Dogs sniffed through the rubble. No sign of Jey. The chaos wasn't over. It had just begun. The moment the flames started to claw up the walls like a predator out for vengeance, it was clear, this wasn't just a small spark gone rogue. This was something far more dangerous, far more catastrophic. Jey Uso, still barefoot and shirtless from jumping into the pool just moments before, bolted toward the house when he heard the screams. "Jimmy's still inside," someone yelled. The words sliced through the chaos like a steel chair shot to the skull. And without hesitation, Jey darted into the smoke-filled doorway. Eyewitnesses, some of them friends, some close relatives, tried to hold him back, but it was too late. He was already inside. Outside, WWE superstars and family members were helping drag people away from the smoke. Montez Ford carried a young girl, one of Jimmy's nieces, cradled in his arms as her face was soaked with tears and soot. Carmella, in heels and dressed to the nines for the party, dropped to her knees with a cold water bottle, fanning people off as they coughed violently from smoke inhalation. It was like watching a dream shatter in real time. What started as the USO brothers' epic birthday bash, balloons, barbecue, poolside vibes, laughter, drinks in the air, turned into one of the darkest moments in wrestling family history. Back inside, Jey searched frantically. Visibility was nearly zero. The air was thick with black smoke, curling like angry spirits around the ceiling beams, and the heat was unbearable. Then he heard it. A groan. Weak. Labored. He followed the sound, crawling low, past collapsed beams and half-burnt furniture, until he saw Jimmy, unconscious but alive, slumped against the hallway wall. Jey didn't think. He lifted his twin up with raw adrenaline, dragging him across the scorched floorboards. It was the ultimate test of brotherhood. Not in the ring, not under WrestleMania lights, but in a life-or-death moment where no crowd cheers and no title belts are up for grabs. Outside, sirens pierced the chaos. Firefighters stormed the property just as Jey emerged from the smoke, dragging Jimmy with scorched arms and trembling knees. The crowd gasped. Roman Reigns, silent and stoic till now, rushed forward, his tribal chest tattoo soaked with sweat and ash. This wasn't just family. This was war. And just when we thought it couldn't get any more heartbreaking, EMTs rushed Jimmy into the ambulance, and Jey tried to follow. But his body gave up. He collapsed, falling hard onto the gravel driveway. Medical personnel caught him just in time. Let that sink in. Both Usos were injured on their birthday. Now, I want you to pause for a second and just imagine this. These are two men who have given their entire bodies, their youth, and their souls to WWE. They've bled in hell in a cell. They've sacrificed their personal lives to entertain us. And now, while celebrating another year of survival and legacy, they find themselves nearly destroyed by something they never saw coming. You still think wrestling injuries are the only risks they face? No. Life is the real danger. Meanwhile, updates were pouring in across social media. X, formerly Twitter, Instagram stories, Reddit threads, all flooded with hashtags. Hashtag pray for the Usos. Hashtag Uso house fire. Hashtag Jey saved Jimmy. Hashtag WWE family strong. The online wrestling community did what it does best, rallying behind their own. But it wasn't just fans. Superstars from every era began sharing their love. John Cena posted a black and white image of the Usos with a caption. Strength isn't built in the gym. It's built in moments like this. Praying for my brothers. Becky Lynch went live on Instagram to say, Jey ran into a burning house to save his twin. That's not just courage. That's bloodline bravery. But there were others who used this tragedy as a platform to fire shots. Logan Paul, never one to keep his mouth shut, tweeted something that literally had fans canceling subscriptions. Damn. The Usos can't even throw a party without botching it. Fire. Immediately, backlash exploded. Fans and even superstars weren't having it. Sami Zayn clapped back, hard. There's banter, and then there's being a tone-deaf jackass. This isn't a wrestling angle. This is real life. The tension wasn't just physical. It was emotional. It was spiritual. And the questions started pouring in. Was this just an accident? Was it a case of party equipment gone wrong? Or was there something more suspicious at play? Fire marshals on the scene began collecting evidence that something didn't feel natural. A grill left on. Maybe. But witnesses said the grill was turned off almost 2 hours before the fire. So what caused the spark? One attendee, whose name is being withheld, told reporters that they saw someone unfamiliar loitering around the back fence just minutes before the smoke started. And guess what? Security footage is mysteriously missing from that side of the property. Coincidence? The LAPD is already investigating, and you best believe conspiracy theories are flying faster than a Jeff Hardy swanton. As chaos gave way to reflection, the wrestling world stood still. WWE immediately postponed all appearances involving the Usos, and even altered the Bloodline storyline on SmackDown, replacing planned segments with tribute packages. But the biggest move came from Triple H himself. The game issued a rare personal statement, not just as WWE's chief content officer, but as a friend. Jey and Jimmy have been with us through everything. What happened was a tragedy, but also a reminder of how strong this family is. The Usos are warriors. We will stand by them, not just as a company, but as people. Triple H also confirmed that WWE is footing the full hospital bills for all injured guests and performers, and that a special episode titled, Bloodline Unbreakable, will air next week on Raw as a tribute. Meanwhile, the Usos' father, WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi, broke down in a rare appearance on Facebook Live. Tears streaming down his face, he said, "I taught my boys to fight in the ring. I never thought they'd be fighting for their lives outside it. But if you know anything about the Fatu blood, you know we don't break. We multiply. Let that hit. Multiply. You know, it's easy to forget that wrestlers are people. We see them on TV. We see the pyro, the championship gold, the trash talk, and we assume that's all they are. But behind every promo, every finisher, every storyline, are real people with real homes, real families, real pain. What happened at the USO Brothers Birthday Bash is more than just news. It's a wake-up call. It's a gut punch to the illusion that everything is always okay behind the scenes. And maybe, just maybe, it's time we, the fans, start appreciating not just the moves they make in the ring, but the lives they risk every time they give us a piece of themselves. Because this wasn't kayfabe. This was raw. This was